promise you, it is all that I wear. So, let's go ahead and dive into today's case. And today we are discussing the disappearance of Jeramy Burt. So Jeramy Burt was born on June the 18th in the year 1973 to his parents, Van and Cheryl. Jeramy grew up in Boise, Idaho with his family, and I know he had a sister. I'm not sure if he had any other siblings or not though. After Jeramy graduated from high school, he joined the Navy and he ended up serving in the Gulf War. During this time period, while he was serving in the war, Jeramy traveled to Japan and ended up living there. While Jeramy was in Japan, he met a Japanese woman named Rena, and Jeramy and Rena ended up getting married. When Jeramy finished serving in the Navy, he of course was planning on moving back to the United States. He really truly did not want to stay in Japan. At the time, though, Rena realized that she did not want to move to the States with Jeramy, and she decided that she wanted to just split up from Jeramy. So at the time, Jeramy and Rena separated. Jeramy moved back to Boise, Idaho, where his family was still located. And once back in Boise, Jeramy met another woman named Kim. This woman, Kim George, fell pretty quickly for Jeramy. However, Jeramy and Kim's relationship was rather hot, then cold. They would be on for a bit, then off for a bit, then back on, then back off. But when Kim found out she was pregnant in the year 2002, Jeramy and Kim decided that it would be best for them to go ahead and get married. So they both agreed, why don't we just kind of settle down and truly try this as a married couple. At this point, though, Jeramy realized he was still married to his first wife, Rena. At the time, Jeramy and Rena had really just separated. They did not get a divorce. Sorry, I had to adjust positions here. My leg was falling asleep. But yeah, Jeramy realized he was still married to Rena. They had signed some paperwork but never really made it official. So Jeramy decided to hire a lawyer to help handle his divorce from Rena so he could marry Kim. So Jeramy ended up hiring a lawyer named Jeannie Braun. Now, the next part is a little bit of speculation, kind of up in the air, as to when it actually began, but it was rumored that Jeramy and Jeannie began to have an affair while Jeramy and Jeannie were trying to help Jeramy get divorced from Rena, while Jeramy was engaged to Kim. So it was kind of this odd love triangle that was going on. Now, Kim supposedly knew about the affair a little bit, but she still agreed to continue and marry Jeramy because she really truly wanted things to work out for their baby. So Kim and Jeramy got she found out that the affair was still going on, or just found out that it was going on. So at this point in time, Kim decides that she wants to divorce Jeramy. She feels that, he's not putting his best effort in, and so she wants to get a divorce. So at this point, Jeramy agreed to divorce Kim, and he continued to date Jeannie, but began to kind of openly date her in public at this point in time. So even though Jeramy and Kim got divorced, they for some reason could not stay away from one another. And so while at this point in time Jeramy was openly dating Jeannie, Jeramy began to have an affair with Kim. From the way it sounds, kind of all three of them knew that this was a love triangle, and so it wasn't like this huge secret or anything. So while Jeramy was dating Jeannie, she ended up getting in trouble by the police for forging a judge's signature and for trying to influence a witness. So these, of course, are some really big no-nos when it comes to being a lawyer. So the police ended up going to Jeramy to ask for his assistance to help catch Jeannie in her lies, and for some reason Jeramy obliges. He just totally agrees to help the cops catch Jeannie at this point in time. So Jeramy begins to record the conversations that he has over the phone with Jeannie. In the year 2004, Jeannie's case went before a grand jury, and the recordings that Jeramy had acquired for the police, along with his testimony, allowed the jury to find Jeannie text Kim basically saying goodbye and saying that he was going to be leaving to start a new life. Something about this, however, made Kim feel a little off about the situation. She felt as though Jeramy would have called her instead of texting her, as Jeramy hated texting, and the fact that he continued to text her back over and over seemed weird. She thought if he had just sent one text saying goodbye and then nothing else, that would maybe be more like him. But the fact that he despised texting but continued to do it really threw her off. So Kim tried to call Jeramy several times, but he did not answer his phone and continued to text. Kim also knew that Jeramy was a very blunt and straightforward guy, and she figured that he would have called her to tell her something that was this important or to just talk to her. So Kim continued to call and call, and the phone continued to go to voicemail. However, after one call, the phone picked up on Jeramy's end. Kim immediately began to plead with Jeramy to not do this and to stay and listen to her. And when Kim tried to take a breath, she heard a heavy sigh on the other end of the phone, and then the phone hung up and went dead. She continued to try to call Jeramy, however, he never responded. He continued to text a bit after this point, I do believe, though. And Kim found it weird that the wording on the text messages just did not really seem to come from Jeramy. So I believe it was on February 12th. At this point, Kim and Jeramy had been talking for a while, and Kim decided to alert his dad, Van, to basically what he was saying. So at this point, Van and Kim continued to try to call Jeramy over and over. However, they still only received his voicemail each and every time. So Kim came back to Boise. She ended her work trip in Las Vegas, and when she went back home, she went to the police station with Van. There, they tried to file a missing persons report for Jeramy. However, Kim knew that because the nature of the texts that she had received from Jeramy on the night of February the 11th, that the police would not take him really as missing. They figured that he'd kind of gone off on his own. So she decided to file a stolen vehicle report as well, because when Jeramy had taken off, he had left in Kim's vehicle. So while the police did not begin to actively search for Jeramy, they did begin to search for Kim's car. At first, there was no sign of Kim's car anywhere, even though the police continued to look. The police even questioned the friend that Jeramy was supposed to go see. However, they found out that Jeramy never arrived there at the friend's house, so the police really had no idea what happened to Kim's car at this point. Scarlet